Welcome to the Biz Story virtual meetup. Biz Story is a group where like-minded freelancers and solopreneurs come together to share, learn, and grow. My name is Casey Story. I am the brand identity developer behind Brand Story Studio. I help consumer packaged goods brands appeal to larger retailers. I'm here with August Familant of Backflip Media. Sorry, August.
No,
Um,
you're good.
who's going to be talking today about knowing your audience. August, why don't you go ahead and jump right in, introduce yourself and Backflip Media, and
Yeah,
go for it.
cool. Well, thanks. Yeah, that was a nice introduction. Thank you.
Thank you.
And I'm very excited to speak and talk about knowing your audience. Yeah, Backflip Media, we're a multi-service marketing agency. We offer branding, motion design, social media, videography, and more. We're just a passionate group of people, and we really love what we do. So, bringing ideas to life is one of our favorite things to do. So, yeah, I'm really stoked to get to chat with y'all today. And like I said, knowing your audience is, to me, it's like a fundamental in marketing. So I'm excited.
Absolutely.
Okay, sorry. Here we go. Okay, so understanding who you're speaking to is key. It shapes everything from how you message and where you deliver these messages. Two examples right off the bat, think of friends versus coworkers or, businesses versus teenagers, right? When you're with a friend, talking with a friend, you're going to be much more casual. You're going to use inside jokes, just overall be a little bit more yourself. With a coworker, you might be a little bit more, formal, direct, and obviously more focused on the task at hand or whatever it is you guys are working on. So this same principle of having a very specific message and doing it in a specific way applies in marketing. Um, this quote that I have here is from Gary Vaynerchuk. He is a marketing guru and a social media expert, and basically it just emphasizes like why knowing your audience is so important and what it can do for your company. So yeah, all right. So to dive further into knowing your audience, let's go over, like a real life example. So I mentioned earlier teenagers versus businesses. So let's dive into that one. When you're looking at your audience and knowing your audience, like, okay, teenagers versus businesses. So for teenagers, you want to tap into their core motivation. So, think fun, self expression, staying connected. And then for graphics and different design work, you're going to use bold visuals and trendy language. The content should emphasize features like social sharing and things that just allow them to stay connected to other teenagers, right? Customization options or like integration with apps that they are using very often, like Snapchat or TikTok.
Mhm.
On top of that, the kind of content that you create needs to feel more organic. So, that's the kind of content that they're really seeking. And so think, influencer partnerships, interactive challenges, things along those lines, short, snappy videos.
Mhm.
Um, Timing matters too. So like, think post after school when like, they're really allowed to just sit and scroll on their phone. Um, so let's look at businesses. So marketing this same gadget to business professionals is going to be a lot different. Their motivation here is going to be like productivity, efficiency, long-term value. For content for this audience, you'd likely focus on features like, task management and seamless integration for other professional tools like Google Workspace or Slack. And the content should take the form of, detailed case studies or testimonials
Mhm.
rather than TikTok. You're going to want to post on LinkedIn and then maybe even consider doing email newsletters, which would be more suitable, for this group. And then obviously timing, right? So this is going to shift here as well. You're going to want to think like early mornings or lunch breaks when they can sit and kind of just scroll and be on their phones. So
Mhm.
Mhm.
that's just a good like real life example that makes it kind of clear, like, you know, those are two wildly different groups and you need to adjust the messaging and where you deliver the messaging so that you're not, then you're not appealing to either. So
Absolutely. And thinking
yeah,
about the different platforms that they're on too. Where an older, like
yeah,
a business might be more on LinkedIn, where teenagers might be more on Instagram.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
Hmm.
So, in summary, when you know your audience, you can speak their language, meet them where they are, and then connect in a way that feels authentic. And to me, this is like really what great marketing is about is, building those long lasting relationships, being authentic, being transparent, being real, creating value.
Hmm.
And you do that by really understanding who you're talking to and who your audience is. That's why it's so important. And so just to let's kind of dive into like how do you begin to do that?
Hmm.
So start with the data that you do have. So like social media and any platform that really allows you to track and build some sort of database. So look at demographics to start to create a picture of like who your current audience is. These platforms can inform you on who they are, where they are, what they care about. But obviously it goes deeper than that. So look at what type of content they engage with most, for social media, right? Like look at what type of content. Do they react more to the videos or images, and are they more likely to comment, or are they more likely to share? Are they doing both? For website analytics, if you have a website, what pages are people visiting most on your website? How long are they staying there? These metrics show, what parts of your product or service that are, the messaging is, most relevant to the audience. You can tell by that timing and how long they're staying on. So if one feature page consistently has the most traffic, that is going to indicate to you that it's the primary reason people are interested in the product or service.
Hmm.
So by reviewing and tracking this data, you're able to identify patterns, behaviors, preferences, and over time you can use this knowledge, as you build it, to dial in your messaging, focus on like the most relevant features of your service or product. So if they're staying on one page and it covers one feature, that's where maybe you should put the focus. And even you're able to predict like what offerings might interest your audience most, so that you're able to really focus on the right areas. So these insights allow you to move from just like generic assumptions to more precise data driven decisions about how to communicate and further engage with your audience. So really starting with your data is the first thing to do, and just start to gather what you have.
So, quick question, because
Yeah.
that's at least for that's one thing I feel like I've run into before is like trying to convince a client that they need video in order to up their metrics, but
Yeah.
I don't ever have any of that metric data like after I do a video for a client. I
Hmm.
guess is there a way using do you by chance do you know using like the Facebook Meta business app or
Yeah.
TikTok or any other social media, like how do you gather that information? Or is there like some sort of, I don't know, like a third party that can track all that data for you?
Yeah, I think
I know
that's
that's super vague, but
yeah,
No, no.
great
I
question.
Go ahead, Casey. I know you were about to just go into something.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say that might be something where more like client testimonials come in a little more.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So maybe you
Yeah.
set up a meeting like um I'm not sure what time period after the video is created, it would be enough time to gather enough data, but like touch base with them maybe 6 months down the road and say, hey, how did this perform for you? Do you mind sending me a screenshot of that data? Or
Mhm.
yeah, just kind of reaching out to them and also like getting their customer testimonial afterwards too, and just like whether they write something for you or you have like a little video recording of it. I think that that's really valuable, and that gives
Yep.
you that social proof that what you are doing is working.
For sure, for sure.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Casey. That's so good because that's literally what this slide covers. Like literally that concept is like, you know, Sam. I think yeah, being able to reach out and get those testimonials because what I was about to talk about is feedback, and it
Mhm.
really is crucial into like understanding like you can learn a lot about your audience. You know, with what the feedback is, so looking at what people are saying and who is saying it and what are the reviews, you know, so Sam, like the different projects that you've done, you know, I wonder even if like while Casey was talking, I was thinking about, you know, like what if you, I don't know, and maybe you have this, but maybe you implement some sort of, you know, like what's the word for it? I lost it. Like a survey or almost like
Yeah.
review, like yeah,
Hmm.
you kind of like get feedback on like okay well you know did the project you know and maybe you do this right after and then 6 months down the line that way you get an idea of like actually what the how they felt you know the meetings went and different things like that and then what how they felt the video performed you know and then looking at the true analytics so like yeah I think just reaching out is huge is
Yeah.
overall
Okay.
not
And
to go
never,
Yeah.
into different things but yeah
yeah. And never be afraid to reach out. Like the worst that they can say is no. And
right right and
so,
Right.
then
yeah.
you know once you have these like testimonials you know Sam like you can use these on like you know it'd be cool for you to get like some I don't know if like you know you could even have like a day where you have people come into the studio and you get some like nicer fit like just more you know higher production like higher quality like just little like reels of like people saying like hey like working with you know sign snack was amazing, like X, Y, and Z, you know, or you know, maybe they're just little static posts that give a review, but you know, now I'm getting lost in going into ideas, but you know what I'm saying? Like, I
No,
think there's ways that you can even get creative with it and still use it all over instead of just like, okay, learning about your audience. Being able to use it for content is kind of what I'm getting
mhm.
Right, right. Yeah, and I know at least like Cinesnack, we do implement debrief meetings after shoots to
at.
talk
Right
with the
on,
client about all that,
right
and
on.
then we do have a follow-up form, but I hadn't thought about like a 6 month later follow up in which you could
Sure,
then like hit
sure.
on statistics and how they feel that it actually performed. That's I
Gotcha.
like that. I'm writing that down right now.
Yeah. And then Sam, because I said it wrong. So it's Cine Snack?
Cinesnack.
Cinesnack. Cinesnack. You got it. Okay, because I said Sign Snack. Okay. Cinesnack. Okay, you got it.
Um, another little thing here, if you don't have email marketing, that might be a good way to kind of implement that, where you can set them up in a workflow where, depending on how involved you want to get, you can get them into a workflow where automatically 6 months later they receive an email from you that you typed up way
Yeah.
beforehand, and
Yeah.
then it has like uh the invitation to be like, hey, hop on a call with me and I'd love to go over, how everything performs. And that could be a good way to like see if they need more work 6 months down the road
For
too.
Right.
sure.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Um, I shared a link in the chat here. It's to a website called Video Ask. Um, I just started playing around with it. You can create a free account and it allows you to collect customer testimonials.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Casey's got the resources, man.
I'm
Yeah.
full of them, full of them.
There you
Um,
go.
yeah, I also shared a link to a website called Hotjar. And it allows you to track heat map traffic on your website. So it actually shows how far someone is scrolling down on your website. Where are they actually stopping? Where is their mouse actually hovering? All that
Nice.
stuff that you don't actually get to see in your
Yeah.
regular website.
Yeah.
So that could
Yeah.
be you guys too.
Yeah. Yeah, the
Very
few
dope.
things that you just said also perfectly lead into this slide because it's Sam, and this is kind of just a continuation of what we're saying too. But it's like, yeah, having these like casual chats like 6 months down the line, or maybe it's just a little bit of a bigger meeting. You know, I think the biggest thing is like connections are built in the small details. Like if I were to tell you guys to take one thing from this slide, it would be that. And so I think just those small casual texts or even a text like 3 months down the line, Sam, it's like, hey, how's it doing? Like, I think those things are just very genuine, authentic, and you know, those small details, like, they build, the micro interactions build up to like this trust and genuine, like, I want to come back for work.
Mhm.
So, yeah, that's kind of what this slide goes over.
Yeah, go get
So
in.
perfect lead up to it. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Sorry, my mouse is lagging.
Fine.
Here we go. The last thing that I want to talk about is just like building customer personas. It's my favorite thing to do for brands, and even for my own. I think it's just like, it's just a genius thing to have in your back pocket. Um, it gives you, like, a clear humanized understanding of like your actually who your target audience is. So being able to build out, fictional profiles based on, though, like, the real data. So all of that data that we gathered, you know, that is what you use to build these personas. So looking at the metrics, talking to your clients and previous clients, those sort of things, that builds the customer personas. So you'd outline key traits like demographics, behaviors, motivations. All in all, this is going to allow you to better, tailor your messaging and marketing strategies to connect with a group in a more meaningful way. Personas also help keep your marketing consistent, and it helps just keep in mind, like I said, it's just nice to have in your back pocket, because you know exactly the type of client that it just makes it a lot easier to, who am I reaching out to, who I need to reach out to.
And how do you speak directly to them?
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. When everyone on your team understands who they're talking to and what they care about, it makes it easier to create experience that resonate and build stronger customer relationships. So I think the biggest thing here is just like building those meaningful relationships and using those as your customer personas. Because then I think like the meaningful clients and those are like your strongest ones, in my opinion. And that's what I would do.
Yeah.
Is take, like, yeah. Go
Also,
ahead. Sorry.
your favorite clients. Like,
Yes.
who do you
Yes.
like working with the most, and how do you
Right.
attract more of those?
Exactly. Agreed. All day.
Mhm.
All day. So yeah, literally it could just be a Google Doc, and it could just be three personas. I give them names. I give them, you could even write down who their heroes are, who their villains might be, that sort of thing.
Mhm.
You can go deep with it. So yeah, knowing your audience lets you create targeted, authentic connections that drive real, honest results that work for you and the client.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you guys.
Yeah, no problem. Um,
Yeah.
Thank you for talking about all that. I'm really excited that you
Yeah.
uh came on here and did that.